So I've got 2 days left in the US, and I thought I would go train somewhere. So interesting thing happened to me. I thought I would contact a local karate place. The funniest thing happened. I thought, well, I'll contact them. You know, from being out of the country, I thought as a foreigner, they would receive me, look after me like I do with people that come to our dojo in Wales. So I had an automated response from a dojo called USA Karate, and it pretty much said no. So I was thinking, why wouldn't you let somebody come in to watch your class or join in your class? The reasons these guys used was that the class was full, and there was a waiting list. So you would surely allow them to spectate, right? If they're from a different country, you'd want to be hospitable to the point that you want to give a good impression because you represent your country. So I'm thinking to myself, well, you know, would you allow some random guy to come in to watch a kid's class? What were the reasons for you not to do that? So one, you know, from a screening point of view, so for many years I was a safeguarding officer. So you'd be thinking to yourself, well, how do you safeguard these kids? If it was a kids class, well, you don't allow them to take photographs. You don't allow them access to the children. You know, you don't allow them to go places in the dojo or the building where they would be at risk. So as long as you can manage those things, it's completely fine. Because if anybody knows anything about any sort of inappropriate behavior towards children, if we're talking exploitation in any way or maybe sexual attacks, there's a very low percentage of those things actually happen with strangers, because stranger danger, it's a thing, and you know, it's a very small percentage. So the majority of situations that happen to do with abuse tend to be from people that the child already knows, because the abuser would groom the family or everybody around the child before they would even do anything. So from that point, we don't get it. The other thing is, like, if you get somebody coming in to the dojo, would they steal your trade secrets? Surely with martial arts, 2 arms and 2 legs, if you're any good at what you're doing and if it makes sense, someone's not just going to be able to copy it that second. Surely they can't just take your magical stuff, because let's face it, there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube now, and you know, you can't just put up a YouTube video and expect to learn all the ins and outs of a technique from just watching it. So I don't understand it from that point of view either. If I'm not stealing techniques and you're not a threat towards the children, what would it be? I'll tell you what it is, what I think it is anyway. Maybe the stuff that's being taught is not so great. Maybe it doesn't want to be exposed for being a fraud. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being a bit cynical, but you know, a bit annoyed, a little bit frustrated that you know potentially I could have traveled a long way to go to this gym, and to get that kind of cold no rings not true to me. You know, leave in the comments below, do you get visitors at your dojo? Do you allow people to come to your dojo? You know, what are the risks? Are there any risks? And going back to Chris Hansen's thing, how do you unify karate if everybody stays in their own little pockets and are fearful to learn from other people? So anyway, I then contacted Tyler Sharp from Mizu Jiu Jitsu or Mizu Martial Arts, and went into Littleton to his gym, and I'm glad I went there instead, put it that way. I've did a bit of research on USA Karate. I've never seen so many high-ranking black belts in one picture. 10th dan, if you believe it. And yeah, very, very strange to have such elite group of martial artists that are not really interested in anybody coming to see what they do. But on to Tyler's group. So unfortunately, he only had a children's group on. Asked if I could come and watch, explained everything. He was very welcoming. I arrived sort of 15 minutes before his lesson, and his jiu-jitsu class, or Japanese jiu-jitsu, I was expecting for it to be all like small circle locks, that type of stuff. But Tyler has chose to evolve his group. He came from a Shotokan background, and obviously he wanted to make sure that his students had a really good grounding in self-defense. So he did striking, he did self-defense scenarios which were pressure tested, so they were resisting. He did sort of standing to ground technique, and then he did a lot of traditional stuff as well. So, Tyler, thanks very much for letting me come in. I would highly recommend his group if you were in his area or if you were visiting Littleton. Put it this way, we're going to be going back. I'd like to get some of our kids over there and, have that kind of exchange. I'm wondering whether that's something more groups would be interested in, getting a world kind of network and moving the kids around and expanding their horizons, really, getting them to look at life in a much different way and experience martial arts all over the world. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got some great material on his YouTube channel. Him, like others, sometimes get criticised for giving too much on his channel. It's some great stuff. I watched the kids' class. Very, very laid back, but very firm when he wanted to obviously get his point across. And his students were very, very well rehearsed and had a good understanding of the Japanese etiquette. I'll be heading back to the UK to head down to Brian Bates' seminar, be catch up and meeting people for the first time. Christian, going to meet a couple of the guys from the Unsu dojo in Germany. I'm really looking forward to meeting quite a lot of them, to be fair. There's a lot of people in the practical karate movement that I'm really keen to meet, and they're all going to be there. So I'm going back to Wales, grabbing the guys, and we're heading down, and we'll see you there. Osh.